Hello, today we're working on a little bit of vocabulary with graphing points, coordinate pairs on the coordinate plane. What is the coordinate plane and how do I plot points is the question, or the questions that we're trying to answer today. So first of all, the coordinate plane is formed by two real number lines that intersect at a right angle. Off to the right, you'll see that. So the horizontal axis we call our x-axis, and the vertical axis we call our y-axis. And this point right here is the origin. That's 0, 0 on the coordinate plane. And then these two lines meet and intersect to create four sections, four quadrants. Here's quadrant 1. So we use Roman numerals here, but you could think of this as quadrant 1, or that's what that means. 2i is main quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. In quadrant 1, well, I'll get back to that in a second here. So an ordered pair, because that 0, 0 might have confused some of you. An ordered pair is an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate corresponding to a point on the coordinate plane. And we write it with parentheses around the two coordinate points or pairs and a comma in between. So 3, 5, the x is the 3 and the y is the 5. Negative 1, negative 4. X is negative 1, y is negative 4. We can then graph those points on the coordinate plane. And if we have a graph that has a bunch of random points or data, those are called scatter plots. And in a little bit here, we'll be graphing lines. That's a straight and continuous arrangement of points. So if I were to graph the following points, now here they're listed as coordinate pairs. These pairs actually come off of this table right here. I took this table and relisted them as coordinate pairs. Here's an x and a y coordinate pair. Here's another x and y coordinate pair. Another, and lastly, 2, negative 3. So the x-axis is the horizontal axis. So when I see a coordinate pair, the first thing I think about is the first number, which is an x. And that means I'm going to the left. Here's my x-axis. We have positive numbers to the right, negative numbers to the left. In this case, this x number is negative 5. So I go left 5. Now I don't put a point right there. I just keep my pencil right there. The y value is positive 4. So on the y-axis, I have to go up 4. So from the origin, from right here, I go left 5 to satisfy x being negative 5, and I go up 4 to satisfy y being positive 4. By the way, we can name points in geometry. You'll do this a lot. So if I just call that point A, I can put a letter next to that point A. If this point right here is going to be B, let's try to graph that. So my x value is positive 3. That means on the x-axis, I'll move right 3. And on the y-axis, let's see, my y value is also positive 3. That means I'm going to move up 3. So from the origin, right 3, up 3. There's B. C is at negative 1, negative 4. So the x value is negative 1. The x value tells me left or right. In this case, I'm going left. The y value tells me up or down. So in this case, I'm going down. So left 1, down 4. That's point C. And last but not least, let's call this point D. So my x value tells me left or right. I'm going right 2. My y value tells me up or down. I'm going down 3 because it's negative. Boom, there we are. And we can then go backwards. So identify the locations of points A, B, and C, and D. So A, let's see here. I like to start from the origin and then move left and right first. That tells me the x value. So the x value for A is at 8. So 8 comma, what's the y value? Let's go up to it. What's the height? It's also positive 8. B is over here. Let's get the left and right value, or the x coordinate first. It's -8, so that means the x value is -8. What's the y value? +8. C, let's get the x value, or left to rightness first, so it's -4 is my x, and y is the up and downness. So, from the origin, the c value dropped down 2, so the y value is -2. D, the x value, left to rightness, we had to move right 2. X is 2, and then the y value is down 4, so -4. So these quadrants, quadrant 1, if anything's up here in the top right corner of the coordinate plane, it means both the x and the y are positive. If we move over here, if you think about it, our x values over here have to be negative. But then if we're moving up, which puts us in quadrant 2, it means that our y value is positive. So a negative x and a positive y. From the origin, if we moved into quadrant 3, it means we'd have to move left, which makes the x value negative. And we'd have to move down, which makes the y value negative. So any coordinate pair in this quadrant is going to have a negative x and a negative y. Lastly, if from the origin we found ourselves in quadrant 4, it means that we had to move to the right, which means our x value is positive, but then we had to move down, which makes our y value negative. So that's this one special characteristic about these quadrants that helps us identify what the signs should be of our x and y value.